Oh yeah, they call me double clue. 'Cause I don't go outside for nothing. No one's gonna make me leave this room.
Hello everyone and welcome to the first ever PC AOR Talkshow. As we talked about on the first talk show of season 2, the big announcement video that we did. We're expanding to 3 platforms, the Xbox, the PS4 and obviously the PC, which you're watching right now. If you want to check out the other 2, you can see them on the description below. But nevertheless, I'm here for the PC side, and joining me is not Niren, it's actually Rhino83.
Hello there, guys, and welcome to the very first PC version of this production. I'm very excited to be a part of this and give my knowledge of the PC split side of things and for the whole season of season 12. So let's get on with this because I am so pumped.
Yeah, I think, and I hope everyone is as well, because personally, from what I've been watching as well, we have quite an interesting grid for the PC, a very competitive one that we will be reviewing right now. And we'll start off with Mercedes, who has Berg von Trips, the Austrian driver, alongside Nuka, a Swedish driver that I don't have too much knowledge about them. It's both of them have less than, well, they have 31 starts combined, so not very experienced drivers, but very strong ones, as Von Trips has 14 podiums in 14 starts, and Nuka has 5 podiums in 17 starts. So, I mean, Ryan, what can we say about this first lineup of the grid?
Well, I've got to say, it's a very strong lineup, I've got to say. Berg obviously was last season's Drivers' Champion in Season 11 on the PC side of things, so he is coming in obviously as the favourite, obviously based off last season, and he has been very competitive when I returned last season. And with Nuka as well, he's a very consistent driver in the mid-pack, gets the occasional top 5 finish there, and in the Mercedes as well, very interesting pick there by the 2 drivers though. So it should be interesting to see how they work as a team and a unit if they plan to go for the Constructors' Championship. But for Berg, he's in the number 1 team in real life, obviously. Could be virtually, could be the best one. We'll have to wait and see on there. But definitely Berg is one to watch out for the Drivers' Championship this season.
Yeah, and following we have Red Bull with the first rookie of the PC side with Sebi, the French driver, which hasn't raced in AOR before, so he'll be probably a surprise. But alongside him, we have quite a legend. I mean, it's ACR Raven coming back after last time he raced was on Xbox, and God knows how long that was. But still quite a strong driver, and it seems like from the socials, it seems to be a good pairing as well alongside the Mercedes. Do you think they'll be able to put up a challenge to the reigning champion and to probably one of the strongest teams on the grid for this season?
I have to say, out of the whole field that we have in PC Split 1, this team, this pairing, is probably the one to watch out for the championship. Raven I know personally very well from racing against him on Xbox, and he was absolutely rapid in pace. So he's definitely one to watch out for on there. And he's looked pretty good so far in testing, as you've mentioned in the social races as well. Sebi is another driver I personally don't know. I haven't heard of him before, but he has been very quick in time trial for the sign-up process, so he is definitely one to watch out for. He has been very good on pace in the social race, and especially in the evaluation race, which happened at Spa last week. So definitely one of the best lineups on the grid, and definitely a team that will be going for the Constructors' Championship, possibly even winning it. So definitely one of the best lineups on the field for this PC Split 1 league.
Yeah, and already 2 strong, extremely strong lineups, but we have another one now with Ferrari, who signed Tyrone Tiger and Marco FD, 2 champions, 2 AOR champions, and Tyrone Tiger comes from 15 races and 15 wins, or 14 races and 14 wins last season on the PS4. So a bit more extreme than the real life current Mercedes domination. Fanatec has been absolutely amazing. But we also have Marco FD joining him, who's also a previous champion, 47 starts, 35 podiums, 19 wins. I mean, we said that Red Bull and Mercedes have pretty strong lineups, but again, Ferrari are not, they're right behind them.
If I'm honest, I think they could be higher than both of them. I mean, Tigger I've raced with before on Xbox before he had some Fanatec wheel issues on that game, which obviously I had as well. Tigger is probably out there on one lap pace, the quickest guy out of the whole field, and as I've seen in the social races I've done with him and in the evaluation race watching him, he is quick and definitely a man to challenge Berg for that Drivers' Championship. And don't count out Marco FD as well, he is very quick, as you mentioned, a former PC Split 1 champion as well, so Ferrari have definitely got overall the best lineup in terms of raw pace, definite contenders for the Constructors' Championship, and they might even have a Nico Rosberg-Hamilton situation with the Drivers' Championship with these two drivers in the same team. Pressure may get over them a little bit, but definitely these two are ones to watch out for that Drivers' Championship, most definitely.
Yeah, and from three very strong lineups, we go for a team full of rookies. I mean, Williams Racing going for non-runner and Lolo DK, Scandinavian lineup, which isn't too often seen in AOR. Not too much information about them according to the AOR because they never raced there. But what can you tell us about them about these Scandinavian lineup, Ryan?
Lolo DK I haven't really raced with before, not really heard of the name, so he could be a bit of a dark horse, you never know. It could be an exciting lineup there with non-runner. I have raced with non-runner before in the past, and he is pretty good. Sometimes makes a little bit of mistakes, but he is competitive and deserves his right in Split 1, so this is probably one of the dark horses I've got to say, because we don't know a lot about them, so they could be really quick and spring a surprise in Australia, so we've got to wait and see if these will be up there with the likes of Ferrari, Red Bull and Mercedes come end of the season.
Yeah, and I think probably more to the fight outside of the top three, probably. We have Force India as well with Mini Black and O'Darn. O'Darn is also another rookie, the third rookie of the field. Who's joining Mini Black with 23 starts and only one podium alongside the fastest lap. So we think it's probably not an extremely fast driver, but to get a podium is already quite a challenge. So maybe an exciting lineup for Force India as well. Maybe a bit of a dark horse as well as Williams.
Probably, yeah. I've raced with Mini Black last season, and he was pretty quick, as he mentioned, with the podium finish as well. And he is very consistent on his race pace, so definitely one to watch out for. And likes to go for a bit of innovative strategies as well, so definitely one to watch out for. And it's good to have an experienced driver in the PC League in that team for Old Dawn. Obviously, as you mentioned, he's a rookie to the season, so he can definitely learn a few tricks from Mini Black, and they could be definite contenders to beat Williams, I think, this season. So definitely a great thing for Dawn to be teamed up with such a competitive driver in Mini Black. So we'll have to wait and see how they do.
And from Force India, we go to quite an interesting lineup at McLaren with Birkhoff, who raced in PS4 last time in season 11. And he's going to be partnered by my co-commentator this time, Ryan 93. I mean, what?
Hi.
What do you want to tell us about your teammate?
Birkhoff, he actually raced as well in the PS4. Not PS4. You already mentioned that. The PC League as well, simultaneously, and he was quite quick. He was very consistent, I've got to say. Did make a little bit of mistakes time and time, but he is quick. When he was teaming up with Andre, who sadly isn't racing on the PC side this season, which is a shame, but he's going to PS4. And to have Birkhoff is very good as well. I have raced with him a number of times. He's a great racer to race against on there, so definitely one to watch, I feel. And, well, what can I say about myself? I mean, I don't want to brag, on there, so I think you should definitely say something, Pepper, because I don't want to brag about myself, but I've raced in obviously the Xbox side for since season 3 when I signed up. Was there until about season 6 and 7. Then I came back to the PC for a couple of races, I think in season 8. Then I took a bit of a sabbatical, and then I came back last season, of course, on the PC side, and doing it full time. But you can have your thoughts on me if you want, but I don't want to say any more.
I mean, you're definitely one of the veterans of the league. I mean, I think, one of the guys, if not the most. I think, yeah, 84 starts. So, like, pretty sure you're the guy with most starts in AOR for this PC split one. So I think that speaks for itself. But I mean, who knows? Maybe a top 5 finish is quite possible. Although we have, as we said, very strong lineups for the other teams as well. But nevertheless, moving on to Toro Rosso, another rookie, Canali. This pronunciation killed me every single time. But he's a Dutch driver, and it's a full Dutch lineup as well for Toro Rosso, with Chicane on the second Italian car. 16 starts, only 1 podium, no pole positions or fastest laps. Maybe it's a bit early to say something, but do you have anything to add about this Toro Rosso lineup?
Well, they're basically from the Dutch, so they're going to have their inner Max Verstappens in them, so you never know, they could be up there. You know, you could spring a surprise. I've raced Chicane numerous times when I've been doing open lobbies on my channel or in league racing, so Chicane is quick, and he is one of a few people that I know of in this field that run in cockpit cam, so obviously it's a bit difficult and makes it more challenging, and he is quick in that camera position, so definitely one to keep an eye out on as well. And Ganali, I have no idea who he is. I actually raced with him, I think, a few hours ago of this recording in the practicing for Australia, and I didn't really see much of him, so I can't really say anything about his pace, but it's good to see another new driver into the league as well, so he could maybe spring a surprise and be a Max Verstappen, but that team is basically Team Verstappen. I'm just going to leave it at that.
Yeah, and from going to Team Verstappen, we go to another Scandinavian lineup at the banana car of Renault, and one of the most, I mean, we have the god himself, AOR Fizzy, on the first Renault, and he's partnered by a race Fanatec, which is not as experienced, only 9 starts in AOR, 2 podiums, however, and I mean, I think I don't need to introduce Fizzy, but it's a rather interesting lineup. Maybe not like as strong as we saw at Mercedes and Red Bull and Ferrari, but it could be an interesting lineup to maybe even fight with the likes of Williams, McLaren. I mean, I think there's potential.
It does indeed. I've got to say, this lineup has surprised me a little bit, because obviously I know AOR Fizzy for a long time, racing as a teammate with him on the Xbox side for a season in the Manor, and he's just he's folklore basically in AOR. He is probably one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet, probably one of the most consistent drivers in the field, and with Race Fanatic, who really out of the whole field is the surprise package for me, because he was nowhere in the previous races. He was in the mid-pack, but on this game he has been absolutely rapid in the time trial evaluation races as long with the time trial events. So definitely one to keep an eye out on the race days. Definite contention for wins. Probably not for the championship, but definite wins on the target, and I could possibly see him in the top 5 area come end of the season. So definitely a team to watch out for, but especially Race Fanatic, a definite possible title contender.
Very, very interesting lineups that we have so far, and it's followed by a rookie lineup at Mana with the Austrian Callum and the British driver Nick Bay. Neither of these has previous history in AOR. Maybe something you can tell us about them, that they performed or how they performed in the socials, right?
Nick B, I've raced with previously on. He was actually, I think he joined a race, last season in AOR on the PC side. I think it was, I'm going to guess Brazil. And he was pretty consistent. He works with setups with Marco FD, so definite chemistry there, and possibly they could work together. Along with obviously Marco teaming up with Tigger, of course, but all of us like to work together in this field to make it very competitive and not be like a Mercedes dominance that we've seen. But yeah, Nick B out of the two is probably the quickest. I haven't really heard of Quinion. I probably got that wrong. You know me with my pronunciation of names, Pepper. So I haven't really heard of him. Obviously, I know he's new, so it would be nice to see how he does in the first race of the season. But yeah, Mana look pretty strong and possibly mid-table contenders. I don't really see them fighting for the championship on that side of things, but this mid-pack, I feel, from what we've seen so far, is definitely going to be spicy and very hot, I will say, come end of the season.
Yeah, and to wrap up this drivers lineup, we have Sauber with Coolcat 4716, the American driver with 18 starts, 4 podiums and 1 win, including 2 pole positions, and PS3 legend Iceman 46, also a veteran. I mean, he raced from season 6 to season 10, winning the championship in season 10. 50 starts, 25 podiums, 8 wins, 10 pole positions, 5 fastest laps, an enormous amount of points, and I think it's just another one to be suddenly up there fighting for wins and probably even for championships, as he was very, very quick back when I raced him in season 10. But what can you tell us about Coolcat, Ryan?
Honestly, I have no information I can give. I haven't really known the guy racing perspective, but from what you've been saying, I think Sauber could maybe be up there. I can't really say because obviously we haven't done a race yet, so it's unpredictable what this season's going to bring. And one thing I would like to mention as well, we've got a nice variety of countries taking part in this PC Split 1 league, which is good to see. We've got English, we've got Dutch, we've got Finnish, we've got Americans, we've got Austrians on that. So a lot of variety in this league, and that's what we want to do as a whole community on AOR, to promote other countries and race against each other to see who is the quickest guy in the world. And AOR is probably the best place to be for a F1 side of things in terms of league racing. So from all the teams, they look all pretty strong in different aspects, and we'll have to wait and see how that goes in the first round at Australia in Albert Park come Sunday. So a lot of potential, and we'll have to see who comes out on top after that first race.
Yeah, and speaking of Australian Grand Prix, obviously season opener once again for season 12, and it's one of those tracks where it has a bit of everything. It has unpredictable weather, because rain is very, very often seen in Melbourne. We have a decent amount of medium and high-speed corners. You have overtaking opportunities as well, especially on the DRS zones. And it's overall a very, well, personally, I think it's a great track for racing, but the biggest talking point I'd say for this season is obviously new tyre rules with the tyre location system and the possibility of using the 3 dry compounds instead of only 2, and it will bring a lot of different tyre strategies. And I mean, Ryan, what can we say about what can we predict the best strategy to use on Sunday?
It's a tough one. It's a really tough decision. Obviously, as you mentioned, the new tyre rules, which I personally like a lot from what they did this year in real life. And Australia is a track that is very demanding on tyres. I know that very well from previous years of doing 4 stops in a race, which didn't really work out for me. But for this game, it's going to ideally be a 2-stop strategy. From obviously, we've got the super soft, the soft, and the medium. And obviously, I think the soft's got. Oh no, it's not. I take that back. Normally, the strategy would be to do 2 super softs at the start and then jump onto the hards, the medium compound tyre, which is the hardest compound available to us. For that, you can do an aggressive 3-stop strategy with obviously 3 sets of super softs and potentially a soft run, but I feel some drivers who are outside the top 10 get a free allocation of what tyre to start on, will possibly do a 1-stop strategy by starting on either the medium or the softs and jump on to the other one, vice versa. But from what I've heard so far, from a little bit of cheeky rumours I've heard, the medium tyre doesn't really work around this track, depending on what, mainly in clear weather conditions. So definitely a bit of a surprise may come around with maybe people doing 3 stops, or will possibly try and play it safe with 2 stops, and maybe see how that goes. But the 1 stop is a possibility, but you need a really good setup to really preserve these tyres, especially in, as you mentioned, this track is very ranged with mid to slow to high speed corners. There's a high traction as well, especially in the last sector, to worry about in the last 4 corners, obviously when you get the power straight down onto the straight where the DRS is implemented. So people will have to think about saving their tyres, but a lot of people will just want to be aggressive, go with that aggressive tyre strategy, which is obviously a new feature for the game, where you can pick aggressive, standard, or conservative tyre strategies as well. So a lot of people will be thinking, what's the best strategy? I'm not going to mention what my personal one would be, because I'll probably be saying that in the race. So I don't want to give any spoilers away to anyone, so because I haven't really thought about that yet. But it will be quite a good race, this one. Obviously 29 laps as well. It's a long one as well, so it's going to be interesting. And the weather, as you mentioned, will be the key factor in this one as well. So we'll have to wait on Sunday. Obviously, sunset weather as well, time of day, with the time of day editor in this game. So it will create a bit of visibility issues for some of the drivers, and we'll have to wait and see if that will affect the drivers. But it's a great track, though, but I personally don't like driving on it.
Everyone will be blinded on the DRS straight because of the sun. But yeah, obviously, as you said, there's a lot of tire strategies that can be used for Australia, which is, at the end of the day, a very good thing, because it allows different drivers to try different things, and maybe can have someone like starting last on a completely different strategy and ending up winning the race somehow. But it's definitely something I'm looking forward, because I mean, Albert Park, like some people like you may not like to drive on the track, but truth is usually gives us very good races, and I'm sure this will be another great race in Melbourne. Personally, I'd actually probably like some wet weather racing. Maybe not to punish you just on the qualifying, just to be nice, but nevertheless, I think once again, go make sure you check the race later tonight at. I'm not sure who's live streaming. I think Ryan will be live streaming nevertheless. Are you?
Yeah, I will be. I will be obviously streaming all my points of view, and I can reveal there will be a broadcast actually of the PC Split 1. I can reveal, so very excited about that. We aren't confirming anything yet on who's commentating it at the minute, but there will be a broadcast for all of the season, which is fantastic for you guys to see on there. We've got the spectator cams, which has been slightly improved on there, and it's a great thing to broadcast the event. It is the highest tier of AOR PC Split 1 we've got. I've got to say as well, I want to shout out to everyone who signed up for the PC. We've got 5 splits this season, which I think is one of the biggest we've had in a long time, so it's fantastic to see from our point of view. Obviously 22 drivers, but in Split 1 we've got 20 due to the broadcasting functionalities as well that we're implementing for Split 1. So there'll be a few other people that will be recording their races and uploading to YouTube as well, like Tigger, Chicane, Berg, Marco FD possibly, myself of course. So there's a lot of people that will be doing their own povs, which is fantastic and gives different points of view in the race, obviously, but the very exciting new addition to this season is the live broadcast of the events, which is definitely a big step forward for the PC side of things. It's been hugely successful on the Xbox side of things when Fizzy streamed it. I think the PS4 did it as well, I think last season, which I think was right, or it could be the season beforehand. So it's nice to finally have the PC side of things broadcasting their race on there. So it's a great thing to see, and should be really exciting to see how qualifying goes, I've got to say. With the times I've seen so far, it is going to be very close, I will say, and I think the times will be around 1:24s from what I've seen so far. I'm not going to mention who in particular, but the times we've seen in Split 1 practice so far from the drivers' perspectives is a mid-24 is the fastest we've seen so far. So we'll have to see how that comes on race day when it comes on to that tomorrow or Sunday.
Yeah, I mean, very interesting prospects for the season opener, and as Ryan said, you will be able to see the race live on someone's channel, which will be announced later on the day. But yeah, I mean, there's nothing else you could possibly be doing that's more important than watching the race. So make sure you go watch the race, and if you're lucky, try and put as many races, because I do believe PS4 will also have someone broadcasting. So we'll inform later on our Facebook and Twitter page once everything's confirmed. But that is our driver lineup covered, and also our Australian Grand Prix preview. I would like, obviously, to thank Ryan for joining our little project and for helping out previewing even this first race of season 12 for the PC split. If there's anything you want to say before we wrap this up, Ryan?
Basically, come watch my broadcast. That's the first thing, if you want to watch that on there. And obviously this will be put on my channel as well. So if you guys want to see more AOR footage, then please make sure to subscribe to myself and also Pepper, who is the original creator of the series. He did a fantastic job last season with Niran on this project, and it's great to be part of this for PC as well. And obviously, guys, in the description I will be providing the links to AOR. If anyone is interested in joining the league, then make sure to check out the site, sign up and introduce yourself, and we will get you sorted into a spot in whatever platform you are on. So a definite recommendation to join the league. It's a fantastic group of people, nice bunch of lads and girls if there are any who race on this on there. And we'll see how this first round goes. It should be a really close battle in the PC Split 1 race. So a lot of potential, a lot of quick drivers, and should be probably one of the most exciting seasons for the PC side of things. So a lot of excitement begins tomorrow. So be there. You better be there.
Yeah, absolutely. And just to wrap it up then, don't forget to follow AOR Talkshow on Facebook, Twitter, SoundCloud, my channel on YouTube, and also Ryan, Niran, and everyone who's part of our crew on the talk show. And obviously, as Ryan said, check out apexonlineracing.com if you are interested in joining the league. But that is all for today. Thank you so much for joining us, and we'll see you next week.
Take care, guys. See you later.